Hello people, how are you doing? So I'm using a filter just to see what it looks like. It's quite weird. TikTok has all these different filters. I mean, look at the size of my eyes. It doesn't even look like me. It's ridiculous. But anyway, how are you doing? Did everyone have a good Sunday? Sorry, this is my cat. She loves attention. And so let her be part of the video today. Hopefully you're not going to get distracted. I I was wondering what I would talk to you guys about today, and I don't know if you heard my story yesterday about my childhood, being raised by a daddy that didn't want us, and still having to take care of him in his old age, because not that I have to, but because I want to, and because the Bible states that we have to honor our mother and father. And it gets hard, it really does, but God gave me the ability to forgive my dad after many years. So what I want to say today is, don't take as many years as I did. Life is too short, and you don't know when your parents are no longer going to be with you, and then you live in regret. So I was lucky enough that God could heal my heart and forgive me and let me forgive my father. And I still don't understand why the Heavenly Father gave me parents and family that don't really want to ever visit. They never come visit me. I don't have family that comes here. I don't have family that comes to visit me. I have people here that are not my family that wants to visit me. And it's always been like that, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. But on that note, I want to testify of how my mommy died in 1994, and I was still in school then. I was in standard 9 going to matric, which is grade 12, and I obviously wasn't working then, and my mommy was buried in a beautiful place without a tombstone. And many years passed by, and obviously I didn't have the money or the means to provide her with a tombstone, and no one did. And I think in 2003 or 4, I can't remember, but it's around 2003 to 2005, I prayed to God, because I always used to tell my ex-husband, if something happens to me, please take my pension money and place a tombstone on my mommy's grave, because it saddened me deeply in my heart that my mother of 16 years that I had of her wasn't even honored the ability to have a tombstone on her grave. And so I prayed to God, because my ex-husband was a narcissist, and he said, no, I'm not going to help you with any money. You're not going to get any money. So I said to God, I need your help. Please help me, help my mommy. It is the right thing to do. So I prayed to God, and I said to him, I need you to help me, that I can help mommy. And at that time, is my ex-husband's brother was working, because it's the man that passed away, remember, Odergi. They actually have Tombstone Company in Rustenburg near Mooinooi. And I work in a laboratory in the Northwest University. It used to be the Picker then, Betty Pick. And we would get guests over from different countries that time in the animal center that would do research on the different animals. And it was people from the Netherlands. And the one day, out of the blue, Martijn was his name, came to me and said, listen, can I use your centrifuge in your lab? And I said, no problem. So I showed him how it was done, and he used it a few times. And by the end of that week, he came to me, we had lunch, and he said to me, thank you so much for your assistance. I really appreciated that we could use your centrifuge. And I'm like, it's no problem. I mean, really, it's really not a problem at all. And he said, with all that effort, I'd love to give you 180 euros. Now, that doesn't sound a lot to you. Okay, now I suppose, because our currency is terrible now. But then in 2003, 4 to 6, it was considerable. It was about 1,800 rand. So I got that money. I transferred it to rands, and I asked Madeleine, listen, Madeleine, is it possible for me to make a tombstone for my mommy? And she said, yes, with that they can definitely. And they were so kind enough to not charge me for the amount of letters that I put on my mommy's tombstone. And so I prayed about the tombstone, what to put on it, because I still want to make a difference, even in the graveyards. And so I placed my mommy's favorite verse on there, and I said, to the best mother ever, we love you, and my sister and my brother's names and mine, and got beautiful yellow roses on the top as well, or golden roses, and it really, and then my brother at that time helped me with the petrol money to get from Rustenburg to Panorama Cemetery in off Bay Nordea, and they got there, they put it up, and it was the most happiest day of my life. I obviously had to find the plot number where my mommy was buried, and then she was married again, so her maiden name was not on there, or her previous marriage, it was now Smith. And yes, mommy got a tombstone, and it made me so happy. So, and 9 years, or short 9 or 12 years later, my mommy got her tombstone. And I know my mommy's not there. I know that my mommy's in heaven right now, and that she doesn't worry about the tombstone, but I do. It is the principle. It's because of what my mommy did for me, how much she looked after me, how much she cared for me, how much she loved me, even in her schizophrenia, even in her drunkenness. My mommy was always there for me. My mommy was always there supporting me. My mommy was, and still is, the best mommy that I could ever have asked for. I miss her every day. And I actually, at that time, there was no cell phones. There were no pictures that you could take. I mean, then you would have that film with a Polaroid, and you would have to print them. So we just didn't have the means. I was still in school. So I don't have pictures, like thousands of pictures of my daddy on my phone. I don't even have voice notes of her voice. I still can't even remember what she sounded like. I can remember what she smelled like, but I just have memories. And that I thank God for. And that to me was a prayer that God answered. That is not a necessity. It is not something that I needed. It's not something that I required. But God saw my heart, and He understood my need. At that time, my husband did not want to help me, and I prayed about it, and He gave me the money and the means, and my mommy got a tombstone. He obviously didn't like it. He wasn't there when we put it on. I went with my friend that I was working with, Auntie Marine, and it was a blessed day for me. I bought her proteas because it's her favorite flower, and I placed it on her tombstone, and it was a joyous day. And if that's the last thing that I could do for my mommy, to tell her how grateful I am for what she's done for me in my life, how she raised me, how she cared for me even in her ability to do so. There is no words. There are no words. And I am truly, truly, truly grateful for what God has done. And I thank Him. I thank my Heavenly Father for helping me, that we could help my mommy. And that is something one must remember, that God also sees the small things. He saw my heart, and He replied, and He gave me what I asked for, because He knew that my ex-husband would not want me to pay for a tombstone, which is sickening. At that time, I didn't get a lot of money, and he either. So we would have obviously have had to save. I mean, you think 1,500 rand is a lot, not a lot, but in those years it was. I wasn't getting a lot of money, and neither was he. So it was totally possible, but he just said no. And so I prayed about it, and he didn't like that response, but it is, with God, nothing is impossible. So on that note, I end this beautiful testimony. Nothing is impossible for God. Even the small things that you ask for, He sees your heart, and He understands, and He listens. And I thank my Heavenly Father for providing my mother with her last gift. And I want to thank you for listening to this testimony tonight. Have a beautiful Sunday, and have a good week. Take care. Bye.